Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, Tears Day, named after the Nordic Mars equivalent, essentially. The god of war and a few other things. Tyr, but Tears Day, Tuesday. The 5th of April. God, I can't get my head on. April 5th. The astrology is as follows. The sun is at 15 degrees 41 minutes Aquarius. I saw something on my glasses. Sun is at 15 degrees 41 minutes Aquarius. The moon is at 4 degrees Gemini. Mercury is at 18 degrees Aquarius. Still conjunct the sun. Not exactly, obviously. A couple degrees off, but still conjunct technically. Venus is at 29 degrees 51 minutes Aquarius. It's about to enter Pisces, so that'll be a nice feeling there. We'll all feel that shift pretty dramatically, I imagine. Mars is at 22 degrees Aquarius, conjunct Mercury. And I said the sun is at Aquarius. It's at Aries. I don't know. I wrote this so small. Derp. A-R-I and A-Q-U. I was like, it's not Aquarius season. Mars is conjunct Mercury, not the sun. Jupiter's at 22 degrees Pisces. Saturn's at 22 degrees Aquarius, also conjunct Mars exactly. Uranus is at Taurus, 13 degrees. Neptune's at 23 degrees Pisces. Pluto is at, and that's conjunct Jupiter by 1 degree. Pluto's at 28 degrees Capricorn, and the North Node is at 22 degrees Taurus. It is so humid. Even my little writing smudging and stuff. I actually got caught in a pretty hardcore tropical downpour yesterday here in Costa Rica, but I survived, obvi. So, today is a Svadhisthana Chakra Day. This is the Sacral Chakra, right? This is in your lower abdomen, basically between your genitals and above your genitals, below your belly button. So, keywords are happiness, confidence, and resourcefulness. Positive aspects include sociability, creativity, joyousness, and independence. Negative aspects are being withdrawn, destructive, despondent, overly dependent. The mantra is VAM, V-A-M, VAM, in the key of D. So if you tone these, be like VAM in the key of D. Spiritual activities are meditation, celibacy, and fasting. Essential oils are jasmine, neroli, and orange blossom. The plant is jasmine. Metal is tin. Element is water. Crystals are tiger's eye, carnelian, and onyx. And soul lesson is peace and wisdom. So you can really tap into a certain level of creativity, of watery creativity today on this Tears Day, the 5th of April. Let's go ahead and pull a card, see what wants to pop. Oh my gosh, my cards are sticking together. It's so humid. I imagine this is probably what like Vietnam or something feels like. It's just kind of one of those days. It rained a lot. So I think it's going to take a couple hours, and the sun is not out. So it's going to take a little while for that to evaporate. We've got the Empress card. And she's got her sacral chakra flowing with the waters, right? The waters of creativity. And yeah, this is just a beautiful card. Some of my favorite colors. Popping, I'm matching with the shirt. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. The Empress is a major arcana card. It starts with 0, the Fool, right? And it goes to 1, 2, 3. So this is the 4th card technically, but the third number 3 is the Empress. And it is as follows. Everything is possible, right? I talk about total creativity, right? Allow abundance into your life. Tapping into the creative flow of the universe. Starting something nurturing. The Empress, I fully embrace life's rich fecundity. As the archetypal mother, the Empress, and with Venus just about to go into Pisces, this is very appropriate. As the archetypal mother, the Empress embodies Mother Nature and the various seasons of life from birth through to death. She understands that to fully embrace life, we must experience its remarkable hues, ready and open to accept the joy, love, and happiness together with the pain, loss, and sadness. What is born will eventually die, and thus we must enjoy, relax, and open to each day that we have, understanding the cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. She is the embodiment of summer, ripe, bursting with vitality, creativity, abundance, and prosperity, a conduit for powerful, sensual pleasure, beauty, and sexuality, very sacral kind of chakra area stuffs, fecundity that is heartily celebrated by her. The milk of life pours from her breasts, and indeed she has the milk of kindness in her, knowing how to attend to creation, North Node in Taurus energy here, right? Nurturing, full of warmth, love, generosity, and patience. She is created here as a beautiful blend of Caucasian, Asian, and African heritage, the mother of the world, her presence weaving a potent gateway for all. Very Mars in Aquarius conjunct Saturn. It's like, you know, this is not just for the elite, this is for anybody who shows up, basically, right? So she's her presence weaving a potent gateway for all. Seated on a megalithic stone similar to that at Newgrange, the Passage Grave, built in Ireland around 3200 BC and embellished with perhaps one of the oldest symbols of human spirituality, the spiral, she is mistress of her womb-like domain. The ancients lived by a womb cosmology of creation, in which everything was birthed and dissolved through a womb space, in waves of cosmic cycles. As every being is birthed through a womb, so scientists believe that the universe was birthed by a giant black hole, or cosmic womb. The spiral, which is so prominent in plants in natural systems, such as the weather in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, and was such an important symbol for the Celts, is presumed to mean the balance of inner and outer consciousness. We will never know because the Druids of Celtic polytheism, which is also known as paganism, were forbidden to ever write about sacred material. And we're actually going to have a real initiated Druid on the Team Rabbit Hole podcast at some point, so check that out. We've had a Master Freemason, a Rosicrucian. We're at like almost 300 episodes, so we've talked to some interesting people about some interesting things. A gilded bird's cage. I was going to say, I think I hear something. Oh, there they go, tractor. Making a little noise. A gilded bird's cage floats above the Empress's head, suggesting that despite appearances, the door of freedom is always open. We can all be free as a bird. She invites us to abandon oneself to her and let her mysterious energy infuse your creations, fueling the birth of eventual form or structure. The world would certainly be out of balance and therefore ugly if everyone was a painter, singer, or dancer. Nevertheless, the spirit of creativity is nourishing to all, right? The spirit of what? Svadhisthana chakra. Spirit of creativity. Everybody from a janitor to, you know, Madonna, whatever, has the power of creativity, and it would be a weird world if everybody was Madonna, is what they're kind of saying. So tap into the power of your unique creativity. Mars conjunct Saturn in Aquarius, North Node in Taurus, Moon in Gemini. Have fun with your ideas. When your creativity so totally infuses your life, every moment is seen living with creative potential. You live in God. The Empress also invites you to nourish and nurture your own vehicle of transformation, which is your body. That was given by, which was given by the miracle of nature, despite its imperfections. Attend to the balance and beauty of your physical environment, especially your home and the natural world around you. So the Empress card today, Tuesday, the April 5th is the card. Everything is possible, allowing abundance into your life, tapping into the creative flow of the universe, and starting something nurturing. I can dig that. I've been writing songs. We've got the podcast going on full tilt. I actually just gave a reading last night, a card reading. Shout out. She is coming on. She's a Qigong master, I guess. I don't even know how they degree that. But she's coming on the podcast Thursday. I just kind of figured that out. I'm spacing on her name right now. I want to say Sarah Lee, but it's not that. So I totally don't quote me on that. It's not her name. And I'm giving her daughter a card reading today on her birthday, so that should be fun. Let's go ahead and get a clarifying card, though. Oh, the reason I'm mentioning it is because she's like, oh, I just did somebody's website and learned how to do WordPress and all this stuff. And it's like, well, TEAMrabbithole.com is a thing, but it's clearly kind of just a hodgepodge thing. I just bought the domain name, and Raphael has kind of made it. I will say the little GIF is great for the symbol, but basically we could do better. So maybe we should Empress card it and step up our game on that front. We've got the Emperor. Holy tits, right? So we got the Empress as the card, and the clarifier is the Emperor. I think this is really getting into the energy of the Aries conjunct Sun conjunct Mercury, where it's like, we got to take name, go forward and push for it. Push for what? Creativity, abundance, health, vitality, all these beautiful things. Lynn Marie, there she is. She's actually coming on the podcast. She's the one who I give the card reading to. Okay, I was like, it's not Sarah Lee. I don't know why I thought that. This dog is berserker, man. If you hear that dog, she slams into the fence thinking she can open it, and it's pretty berserk. Anyway, we've got the male and the female with the Moon in Gemini. Gemini card is the Lovers. This is essentially the Lovers. right? At the highest kind of archetypal level. The masculine as the clarifier and the feminine as the card. With Venus, it's not there yet. It's in Aquarius, last degree, last minutes. But Venus is going to be entering Pisces, Moon in Gemini, North Node in Taurus, right? We've got all this kind of creative, fecund, nurturing, curious energy. But we really do need to Saturn conjunct Mars in Aquarius, Sun conjunct Mercury in Aries, make it so, right? So don't just sit, like I was saying, I'm writing all these songs, don't just sit on your creativity, don't just hide it under a bushel, right? So, so what we need to do is really kind of tap into the beauty that surrounds us and then work with it, like a potter with a clay wheel. You don't just go, ooh, clay is cool and nice and interesting. You work with it and make something out of it, hopefully of utility, both utility as well as beauty. So the Emperor's card is the card of the day, but the clarifier is the Emperor, which is basically as follows. I lead by example, right? Making it so that you lead, you take charge. Setting boundaries and following rules, very Mars conjunct Saturn exactly in Aquarius. Believing in the concrete world around you, focusing on action and results, and holding your ground. So it's the ultimate, internal balancing. That's really what, as creative beings, right, as independent and joyous beings of the Svadhisthana chakra, balanced sacral chakras, we can birth, literally, because it's not your genitals per se, but it's the create. I mean, that's kind of where it is, because the base of your spine is your root chakra, and then up a little is your creative, your gonads or whatever. So it's like where babies are made and how babies are made. We need to be tapping into the force of creation, right? Like making it so, going out and doing the thing. But don't forget to finesse it and make it beautiful and something of value, North Node in Taurus. If it's not valuable, and picking your interest and curiosity, Moon in Gemini, and if it's not really making you want to move towards it, Sun conjunct Mercury in Aries, then maybe it's not what you need to be doing. So, but don't let that discourage you. Holler for readings if you want to know if you should be pursuing something or not. We've got the Soul Butterfly as the animal card. So, this is, I know there's going to be some conspiracy theorists who are like, this is Illuminati symbolism. MK Ultra Monarch Butterfly. It's not a monarch, but it's the point. Anyway, the butterfly is going to be on page 110 and 111, so number syncs there. Butterfly, the soul, to experience our full selves, which is both sides of our divine masculine, or divine feminine, right, card of the day, Empress, and divine masculine, clarifier is the Emperor, to experience that fullness of being in the image of God and having the ability to create. We often go through a difficult period of transformation and growth. Pluto in Capricorn. South Node in Scorpio, right? Where we're like, what do I need to let go of? What am I codependent to? How have I been limiting myself emotionally and not tapping into my creative potential and magic? And what in the world needs to change? Trust what you feel. We all have stages to pass through in life, and not all are easy. So you can't just slam on the easy button and expect that to happen. You think the Sistine Chapel was easy? You think, I think it was Michelangelo's like, you just saw a piece of stone, and I was just chiseling for a few days, cement, physically, like chipping it away. We didn't have a jackhammer here, so I'm having to be like, dig, 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 and do that shit. It's like, I have a new appreciation for stone cutters, because Jesus Christ, that's not fun. It gets you a little ripped pretty quick, but not fun. We all have stages to pass through life, and not all are easy. Having a baby, right? I mean, it might be easy to plant the seed and fun at that level, but then to raise the child, have the child, and teach that child how to prosper and how to be in this world, not the easiest. But I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like the best wine grapes usually come from the rockiest soil. So it's like we really become very ripe and sweet and succulent, creative vessels of spirit when we go through hardship. If we choose not to succumb. With the Sun conjunct Mercury, we have the mind of a warrior and we can actually move through it. We can do this thing. So don't doubt it. And with the Moon in Gemini, it's about having fun. It's like, if you sit down and play the game of life or Monopoly or Scrabble or anything like that, you're not just sitting there being like, I have to, hopefully you're not just sitting there like, I have to win at all costs, and if I don't win, it's not fun. It's like you try to play well, but it's a game, right? So it's somewhere in the middle there. Look ahead to where you wish to be, not where you have been. Self-trust, so North Node in Taurus, look where you want to go, where you want to establish, where you want to plant the seeds, not where you have been. South Node in Scorpio, your past emotional blockages and stuff like that. Codependence. Look ahead to where you wish to be, not where you have been. Self-trust and the trust of your partner are necessary for positive relationships. They're only going to be a positive couple, right? The best kind of power couple. And this is inside of you, right? You have the divine feminine and masculine, Ida Pingala, making the Kundalini Shashuna kind of situation pop when you trust fully at that level. So trust is necessary for a positive relationship. Mythos. Butterflies feature in many cultures as part of their mythos and usually reflect the idea of change and transformation of the deepest parts of us. Celtic, Native American, and Mayan cultures all have stories of the divine butterflies, of divine and butterflies. Probably the most well-known mythos is the Greek story of the archetypal lovers Psyche and Eros. Oh wow, archetypal lovers. It's a little different. And I should say, and I always say this when I pull this card, there's a really good C.S. Lewis book called Until We Have Faces, which is a dramatization of the Psyche and Eros mythology, if you're interested in reading a really poetic kind of version of this by a great wordsmith. The word Psyche meaning both soul and butterfly, moon and Gemini. It's got a duality to it. It's got multiple meanings in ancient Greek. Psyche was a mortal girl who was so beautiful, you know, Venus going to enter Pisces, but also North Node in Taurus. Psyche was a mortal girl who was so beautiful that people came from all around to gaze and bask in her beauty. Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces. It's like, wow, this is so dreamy. She's the dream girl. She was so appealing that people no longer went to the shrine to the goddess Aphrodite, instead forsaking her to look at Psyche. So this is like, you know, if all of a sudden Britney Spears takes over for Madonna's slot or whatever, right? That's part of the reason she did that makeout thing right on September 10th or September 11th, basically the day before or the day of 9/11, was maybe an occult ritual having to do with snakes and lesbianism and all this kind of stuff, but to vampire off the power of the new underling or whatever. Isn't that some Illuminati kind of conspiratorial thinking? Aphrodite was angry and decided to punish Psyche. Saturn conjunct Mars in Aquarius is like, I will set the boundaries and for the team, and if you cross the team or my boundaries, you'll get hurt and disciplined. And sent her son Eros, who shot arrows into people to make them fall in love, to shoot an arrow into Psyche and make her fall in love with the most vile creatures on earth. That's some Sun and Aries conjunct Mercury stuff. This guy makes you fall in love with what? Warrior tools, an arrow and a bow, like Cupid essentially. However, when Eros saw Psyche, he was shocked by her beauty and accidentally pierced himself with his own magical arrow, very moon in Gemini, kind of clumsy, and whoops, I pierced myself, thus falling in love with the mortal girl. He could not tell his mother because she hated Psyche so much, some South Node in Scorpio shit, some, you know, deadly enemies, and he cast magic upon Psyche so that no mortal could marry her. Psyche's father was amazed that he had no offers for her hand, even though she was the most admired girl in the kingdom. He went to the oracle at Delphi and asked Apollo what to do. The oracle said that Psyche must marry the man she would meet on top of the nearby dark mountain. Psyche's father took her to the top of the crag, right? Mars conjunct Saturn. It's like you're making a journey up what? The mountain. Psyche's father took her up to the crag and left her there, telling her that a husband would come for her. Talk about abandonment stuff. This is on page 111. Psyche was terrified. She thought she had been left to die there alone and unwanted. Pluto and Capricorn, my world is dying. Then a wind stirred her, and a melodious voice said to her, very moon in Gemini, oh, the angel's voice came, come with me, my love, and I will take you to our home. You will be happy and you will always be happy, but you may not see me. So Jupiter conjunct Neptune and Pisces, where it's like, I'm going to bless you with the most love, but there's some mystery and delusions and illusions happening here. Psyche was swept away and soon found herself in a huge royal palace with beautiful food, right? Royal palace, emperor, empress energy. So she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be made a magical queen because this guy is marrying me. To a husband whom she could not see but felt as pure love. And all this was hers forever. North Node and Taurus. Ah, you hit the jackpot. Good job. She made love to her husband. Lovers kind of energy, Gemini moon. She had never experienced such joyous ecstasy. She was happy and she sent word to her father and sisters that she was married to a fine man. Right? So the Empress with the Emperor clarifier. Her sisters soon came to visit, full of curiosity, moon in Gemini. When they saw the huge home and all the servants, they were jealous of their sisters, South Node and Scorpio. They asked about the new husband and what he looked like, and Psyche innocently admitted she could not tell them. The sisters savagely told Psyche she must be married to an ugly monster, not a man, and laughed at her. Psyche, being a total brats and aggressive in terms of their mocking, Sun conjunct Mercury and Aries, kind of being assholes. So they're like, that's a monster you're married to, not a human. Psyche defended her husband, but the idea of the monster was now planted in her mind. That night, after they had sweetly made love in the darkness and she could hear her husband's rhythmic breaths of sleep, Psyche could not resist taking a candle and sneaking a look at her husband's form. Very trickster energy, moon in Gemini. There, by her side, was not a monster, but the exquisite form of the god of love himself, Eros. So delighted was she that she tipped a little of the hot wax upon his arm, and he awoke. Bitterly disappointed that she had broken his trust, he left her. Saturn conjunct Mars, it's like if you cross the boundaries, there will be consequences. Psyche was devastated and could only turn to the goddess of love herself, Aphrodite, for help, not knowing that the goddess was so against her. This is, the Scorpio going to your enemy for help and not realizing they're even your enemy. She prayed to Aphrodite, and the goddess told her that that only if she successfully completed 3 tasks to prove her love for her son would she convince him to take her back. The tasks were seemingly impossible, even confronting death himself, but Psyche prevailed in all of them. This angered Aphrodite even more, and she became set on making Psyche her slave. Aries' son. It's like, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to dominate you and win and kill you, emotionally or otherwise. Other gods saw this wrongdoing and intervened. Venus in the last degrees of Aquarius, almost into Pisces, but it's like the team came through. They intervened, alerting Eros to everything that his wife was enduring to win him back his love. Moon and Gemini. There was gossip even happening. Eros flew back to Psyche. They were reunited and forgave each other, and they were in happy realm together forever after. Right? So today the card is the Empress card, but in order for her to become her most full, she was the most beautiful woman, causing others to worship her instead of Aphrodite. But she had to go on a journey that basically toughened her up. Just being the super hottie of the town wasn't enough. She had to develop character, dare I say. So the journey of the soul, though, this is what this is saying. It's a creative process. We're an unfolding of a flower blooming, and then we die. We rise to the mud, we're birthed, and we die, and then that dissolves into the mud again, and then more come. So it's just this process of becoming. That's what we're all in. The animal butterflies are an ancient species of insect with fossil records dating back in excess of 56 million years. They are found everywhere but Antarctica and come in a huge variety of sizes, colors, and shapes, although their 4 wings are typical. Many butterflies are migratory, and it is now understood that they use a navigatory system based on polarized light from the sun. This means that even in cloudy conditions, they can know where they are. They are extremely important as pollinators and are also known for their beauty. Of particular note are the butterflies with iridescent wings for camouflage and almost neon-like colors, which are known the world over. These include the stunning blue giant blue morpho and the pearl morpho, which shimmer in rainbow colors. Butterfly, very north node in Taurus, is the most beautiful kind of butterfly. Light as a feather, floating on the wind. Butterflies have a varied stage of transformation into their adult stage, which is why they are so symbolic of transformation. Larvae grow from eggs and are often referred to as caterpillars. This larval stage can be very short or lengthy depending on the species. The larva cocoon inside a chrysalis to undergo it's a verb there, inside a chrysalis to undergo a huge metamorphosis in form that involves physical structures being built and broken down. Pluto and Capricorn, right? We're changing the world around us in like dramatic change. Pluto, like emulsification change, not just kind of like, oh, I grew 3 inches this summer. When the new butterfly is ready, it breaks free of the cocoon, it dries its wings and flies away. A small but profound miracle that we all can witness, right? It takes a process that's kind of rigid and has structure and form and is practical and it's not fucking around, but it creates such a beauty. And even the blue morphos neon colors pop in nature. It almost, imagine an abstract butterfly grouping or something like that there. The magic, which is why we are all here. Butterfly magic is key to growth and transformation of the soul. Going through trauma or difficulty helps reveal our true self and to grow into the full magnificence of the soul itself. Ease doesn't always mean growth, right? So don't be going towards the easy, codependent, emotionally kind of toxic thing, South Node and Scorpio. Be going towards the independent, beautiful, self-structured kind of boss energy, North Node and Taurus. When you need help moving from one life stage to another, then butterfly magic can be useful, although patience is often needed to embody change fully. When you require a dose of beauty, and that's really the shadow of the sun in Aries conjunct Mercury in Aries, is that we're very impatient. We want it now. We're going to run for it. She wanted to see what her husband looked like, so she cheated and looked, and it caused a whole lot of trouble. So if she hadn't done that, she wouldn't have become wiser, but she would have stayed, naively happy. Jupiter conjunct Neptune and Pisces. So when you need help going from one life of stage to another, this magic can be helpful, but you need the patience too. When you require a dose of beauty, hope, and lightness of spirit, very much North Node in Taurus, Moon in Gemini, right? Lightness of spirit. And a reminder to live your life to the full, which is the positive side of Aries Sun conjunct Mercury. It's like, make it so. Go out there and live your biggest life. Butterfly energy can be just the thing. So symbology is woman with butterfly wings, caterpillar to butterfly transformations, butterfly wings themselves. Status, they range from the least concerned to endangered. It really depends on the species. So we have the ability to transform, and we don't become the king or the queen, right? We don't become the top tier individual overnight. We're always perfectly exactly where we should be, but it's a creative unfolding. It's a story. We're in the greatest story ever of the self unfolding through time and space. And it's going to be shocking one day when we look back and say, I signed up for this, and these are the hurdles I asked for. And this, I don't know if it's something like so much like, oh, I asked for this deformity, so I have to overcome it specifically, or it's like I asked for hardship in general to overcome it. I'm not sure exactly. I don't think anybody metaphysically knows how that works. But we're going from shit to gold, and but it's like a valuable shit. It's like just like manure is valuable. It's not just like bad. But we're going from manure to plants, right? You get the field and it's all manure. It's like, this isn't that great. It's the starting element, and then through time and materiality and process and transformation, butterfly, it goes from germinated seeds in the soil to sunflowers or whatever. So we have 40 as the hexagram for today, the I Ching hexagram. If you don't know, this is the Chinese kind of book of changes, their divination process from way back in the day. And you can't make this up. Liberation, just like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon and popping and flying. You could imagine this is like Psyche being like, oh my God, I'm with my husband again. Liberation, difficulties are lifted and tension dissolves. With Venus now going from Aquarius into Pisces, I think we're gonna feel a lot less of because Aquarius is co-ruled by Uranus as well as Saturn. Before we could see Uranus, we attributed it to Saturn, which is striving and difficulty and constriction and karma and, Snape energy instead of Dumbledore energy, right? So we have we have Venus, which is love, going from like kind of tight control, eccentric hacking mode to flowy artist, sundress, running around on acid Woodstock vibes. And that is going to feel very freeing. So difficulties are lifted and tensions dissolve. The effects are liberating, but there is one more thing needed to clear away remaining misunderstandings. Just as thunder and lightning relieve the tension in the atmosphere, so liberation releases the soul from fear and constrictions. I have to say, when I was walking to go get my food, from rice, really is all I bought, a bag of rice, from the store, I was looked up at the clouds and I was like, that looks like it's gonna fucking, like, it's gonna, you just know when it's gonna rain, right? And it dumped for like hours. So you could see, it's lightning and thunder relieve the tension. The rain has to fall at some point because it becomes so saturated, but that rain ultimately makes for the beauty in the world, right? The waters of creativity, Sacral Chakra, lead to the beauty and the structure of that beauty and the robustness of that beauty. And don't think that beauty and ultimately value come easily. North Node in Taurus doesn't mean it comes on a silver platter. You have to work for it. Mars conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So, liberation releases the soul, which is the card we got, the soul. Can't make this up, right? Syncs all day long. The soul from fear and constrictions, which is the South Node in Scorpio. Fear and constriction. We're releasing from that. Enjoy your newly won freedom. Just like Psyche was like, oh my God, I don't have to work for this slave tyrant bitch named Aphrodite who hates me. She got free from that because of the gods, right? Enjoy your newly won freedom. Don't get tangled up in the past. That is South Node of Scorpio, the past. Don't do it. Don't get tangled up in it. Forgive all those you hurt when you were at rock bottom. This will help everyone who's involved. You could avoid attributing blame in relationships too, and instead provide a new impulse for love. Letting go of rigid attitudes and worn-out behavioral patterns allows extraordinary potential for personal growth. That's on page 72. Another little sacred number. So we want to be rising out. I mean, this is almost like Venus and Mars have been in Saturn for a while, and maybe it's not bad, but it's not exalted, I guess you could say. And Venus is about to pop up into Pisces, and it's like, holy shit, now I can feel like I'm a woman again. I feel like a woman. That doesn't mean she doesn't have to like pay bills and comb her hair and make out with her partner or whatever. It's like there's still like duties and obligations and structure, right? And independence and bossness. But we need to be bringing that beauty in a firm way. Aries Sun conjunct Mercury, knowing that the soul, it doesn't ever stand still. And sometimes you're 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Sometimes you're 3 steps forward, 1 step back. You're always moving around. But the soul is going forward, and we are liberating into what? Higher realms of creativity, of appreciating the joyousness around us that we ourselves ultimately are a manifestation of. We're the joy of God, if you want to put it that way. So let's get one more card, and then I'm going to go talk to my fiance. We've got, Shungite. I know a lot of people have this. Raphael, my co-host of the Team Rabbit Hole podcast, has noble Shungite. He's always talking about it. People put this in their water. You can quantumly entangle with this. You don't actually have to own it, but if you do, like Raphael, shout out. Very north node of Taurus of you. Shungite, what it is. Shungite is a coal, got to read right. Shungite is a coal-like mineral. Its carbon molecules, called fullerenes or buckyballs, form in the shape of tiny geodesic domes. These are named after Buckminster Fuller, who created the geodesic dome, kind of like Epcot, the center, the globe there. That's a Buckminster Fuller design. It's electroconductive, right? So very much Mars and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. It can harness the power of electricity. It's electroconductive, and it's only found in Karelia, Russia. I bet supply chains of this shit are going crazy right now, given the politics. It's only found in Russia, where local spas have taken advantage of the mineral's purifying powers for centuries. Who needs it? Anybody looking to get honest with themselves, right? The soul's journey. If you want liberation, be truthful, not deceitful. North node in Taurus, not south node in Scorpio. We need to be seeing our fullness, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. All of ourselves, the masculine and the feminine. And that is the journey of the soul. That's when you get liberated, when you can see things more fully, right? Looking to be honest with yourself. Gemini moon. It's like, don't just fuck around. Be curious and figure it out. Where to put it? In your water bottle to create Shungite infused drinking water. Meditating with Shungite can get the good vibes flowing through you like electricity through a neon sign that reads, yes. When to use it? When it's time to reclaim your energy from wherever it's been and whomever it's been with, right? So when basically Psyche having to reclaim her energy from having to deal with Aphrodite evil mode, South Node of Scorpio. It says, get real with your truth, right? And we need to be creatively doing that. Not just like matter-of-factly. You want to play Moon and Gemini with your truth, Saturn conjunct Mars and Aquarius, because playful truth, beautiful structure is really what allows the caterpillar to turn into a butterfly. If it didn't create that cocoon, if it didn't go through the emulsification process, if it didn't take its time and work through the steps, it would not pop out and be liberated as a butterfly on the other side. So get real with your truth. No mud, no lotus. I wrote a song about that. You got to have issues and compost basically to become the beautiful version. You have to have structure and restrictions and order and basically time, emperor, clarifier to create the beauty. You don't just have America's Top Models running around all the time, giving you cornucopias of food. You have to earn this shit. So Mars conjunct Saturn, do the work, but the work does what? Moves towards beauty and actionability. North node in Taurus, Sun conjunct Mercury. You realize, oh my God, I'm here to be this individual who's popping. That's what we're here for. It's the journey of the soul. This is the journey of the soul, right? That is Daft Punk I was alluding to. But this is get real with your truth. And I think one of the best ways to get real with truth is through art, through creativity, through sensuality, through the Sthana chakra. Sometimes we're living in delusions and attachments and victimization and codependence and emotional blackmailing and rage and all these kind of, fear and anger, basically, South Node of Scorpio, shadow of the Sun in Aries. And we need to be tapping in Moon and Gemini to our playful side in order to really create the highest value. Doesn't mean there's no structure, but the highest value of the soul that is freedom, essentially, through creativity. Get real with your truth with Shungite, and I can help you get real with your truth. Holler for readings. I just gave oh, now I'm forgetting her name again. She just, Lynn, reading last night, giving her daughter a reading today. So Holler for card readings, $33 for an hour of cards, $88 for 3 hours of astrology, $111 for both. If you've enjoyed this, share it, tag people you think would like it, leave a tip, dare I say. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. We've got Lynn coming on Thursday, and she's got an interesting story, I can just tell. But we'll get her on Thursday, and I'm forgetting who Wednesday is, but I've got to check. But we've almost got 300 episodes. It's great. If you want to come on the podcast yourself, feel free. You don't have to be famous or, as long as I think you're cool and we can kind of milk you for your story and get something out of it and ask you questions, we have all sorts of types of people on. So check out the podcast. Leave a tip if you feel like it. Ask for readings. Holler at me for that. 5 stars only. So you got to know that it's quality you're getting and not just nothing. I do try to help people through the magic. And yeah, really tap into the beauty of the day. With Venus about to pop into Pisces, with Mercury conjunct the Sun in Aries, we have a lot of energy to create beauty in the world and to really value beauty, right? To value our creativity. Like today's a good day to be creative. Go paint, go write a song, go start doing your workout or diet. It's part of your journey, so you can't skirt certain lessons right now. Usually we're like, I just want to have the highlight reel. And it's like, no, you've got to have the downtimes between the plays and halftime and all this shit for a game, right? On ESPN kind of illusions. I haven't watched that shit in a while, but you see my point with the analogy. So we're going to pop through this, and just like, a lot of diamonds are made with what? Heat and pressure, heat and pressure, heat and pressure, and then a diamond pops. That's who we are, and that's ultimately the journey of who we are. So know that you're a very valuable, very beautiful individual who has to take things a little seriously sometimes to get it done. It doesn't just happen to you. You can't sleep on it. And it says, get real with your truth. You with Shungite, you have to know who you are, which I can help you with an astrology reading, or what the fuck's going on, which I can help you with a tarot card reading, an oracle card reading, in order to basically know what kind of butterfly you're aiming for and what the process of your gestation and, cocooning is going to look like. Because we're not all the same. We're all, spiritual beings going through a material experience, or however you want to break that down, but everybody's kind of a snowflake, different, unique patterning and directional karma. So check out the podcast, Holler for readings, and ultimately enjoy your Tears Day. I will catch y'all on the flip side. Adios. Bye.